Welcome to my video titled Predacious Environments. I'm Carl Torsmans, former Deputy Warden, New Mexico and Arizona Department of Corrections. First of all, let me explain to you a paradox that's occurring in our society today. Predators are fed inside of a zoo, according to Smithsonian National Zoo Public Affairs Assistant Jennifer Zune, who say that while predatory animals are kept fed on a diet comparable to what they would get in the wild, actual hunting by animals has to be simulated. Oddly enough, the primary concern about allowing any sort of live predation, such as releasing a live rabbit into a tiger enclosure, is potential harm to the predator. Sometimes those animals fight back and in exercising their instincts may injure one of our endangered animals, and when dealing with many endangered species, you do not want to take a chance that an injury could lead to another health complication. Not even our snakes get live mice. As Andrew Circle of the San Diego Zoo told the British newspaper Guardian in 2008, we do not feed live animals for a very important reason. Zoos apparently try to satisfy the predatory urges of such animals mostly by stimulating live animals with cardboard dummies, large balls, and similar objects to stimulate the prey, and in some cases causes the dead carcass of an animal intended for feeding to move to give it the predator animal the illusion that it still needs to kill for food. That's the zoo rationale. Now here's the paradox. Our prison rationale. Prisons have spawned many different types of predaceous species from within. Many of our incarcerated prisoners are eventually released and learn to wander among those in the community while mankind has no idea what has happened to them while they were incarcerated within the predaceous environments that exist inside of our penitentiaries. Society should disregard television, movies, and other sources, as they are likely to be folklore-created falsehoods and fictions that are filled with numerous contradictions and lies. Such are the conditions that exist within the walls of concrete and steel, and where sunlight has to struggle around so much darkness. There are two species are never exactly the same inside of prisons. Each have their own unique qualities and predatory behaviors. Officers are aware that it works for one may not work for the other. Some are more venomous than others, and although some don't appear to use venom to subdue their prey, it does not mean they aren't capable of inflicting the kind of pain and harm as those that openly display their powers. There are many patterns of behaviors that must be taken into consideration. These range from mastering the art of mental manipulation to pure physical bullying at times by blunt force and other times by coercive persuasion. Regardless of will or mind, they fall victim to predacious behaviors and often become predatory themselves. Most follow their prey from the shadows, anticipating an opportunity to strike or advance their purpose another step closer to the ultimate kill or objective. Their patterns are indicative of the subtle movement that can strike silently and swiftly like a cobra, or crush you like the jaws of a great white, pummeling you into your demise. Either way, you will experience excruciating pain, if not death. Time has revealed the different methods of assassinations used inside of our prisons. Mankind has not yet fully understood the impact or the dangers, as they have willfully ignored the warnings on the walls for decades. Neglect of funding and staffing has exacerbated the situation, and politicians have long ignored the status quo that is creating a toxic and harsh condition inside the penitentiaries and seek no oversight or accountability today. Since filling up these prisons with violent men or women, individuals must adapt and survive by breaking away from society's rules. The way we think mankind ought to behave while incarcerated has been altered by the venoms around them. Metaphorically, chained to the walls for their crimes committed, and castaways, they are no longer considered human beings, rather, predacious creatures that prey on another to survive. Perhaps the most ultimate paradox is how these monsters are created and when released walk among the most common members of our families and society. Expecting rehabilitation, they are thrown in with the worst of the worst to become only more criminal in their mind and intent, but predatory enough to engage in new behaviors not sought before they were imprisoned. Such is the world where only the strong survive and reap the goods that are available within the walls, and make a living of others selling drugs, battering goods, or getting high or stoned. It's no wonder that gangs can prosper off the basic needs of others. It has become a capitalistic venture of supply and demand. Correctional officers have learned how to handle and understand this complex evolution and revolution of these incarcerated persons. They have released their knowledge and increased their knowledge how to deal with these kind of predators, although violence against them has increased dramatically and their behaviors have been bizarre to say the least. Officers can offer insight, but are often kept quiet due to the code of silence. They're not asked to share their feedback, their observations, and their experiences. Needless to say, this fosters more myths and folklore that the truth is rarely told, and the questions never asked. It's time to open up the box and reveal just how bad our prisons have become in the last 20 years, and how this complex situation can be remedied and altered back to restore human dignity and an enigma kind of a lawful order. Read my articles, please, on www.com. Corrections. As always, be safe.